Okay, welcome to this Becoming Love mini podcast. I have my dear friend Rita. Rita and I have been doing inner work. We have the shared intention to become love, and we've been on this journey together for a few years now. And so it's a gift to have you here, Rita. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I always appreciate. So Rita and I, we live close, but like we don't see each other in person often, but we send voice notes often, and it's
Mhm.
nice. I always appreciate our communication because I feel like you are someone who can meet me in that place. We hold a similar perspective in terms of. Yeah, this kind of like the work and the growth and seeing things through this lens of, opportunities for growth rather than when challenges and things come up. That's how we move through them. And so I'm excited to have you here and to chat a little bit more about this today.
Yeah, it is so good. I love also the way we communicate. The voice notes lend themselves to one of like the most uh, powerful pieces, which is like being in flow with all of this and like noticing when something comes up and then like paying attention to it and giving it space. And so oftentimes I find that being able to communicate with you and reflect is so powerful that we can just do it so easily and allow that in, and it makes for more fun as we unfold and unwrap all of
Mhm.
this growth, this growing up into uh, the, the love that we actually want to embody.
Yeah. And I'm just appreciating actually in this moment too is I'm reflecting on our voice notes, and one of the things that I really appreciate is the dynamic that where we often share our stuff from our perspective, and we are undergoing our own process because we have various tools and ways of moving through these things. And so it's really like a sharing, and there is like often, some response and reflection, but it's just right now in this moment I'm realizing the difference between the dynamic of like my past self, and in the way that I would often call people and want them to answer my questions, solve my problems. I want, right, like I'm reading notes
Mhm.
in that energy, and it's very different when you and I connect. So I appreciate that.
Mm. Yeah, it's nice. I find it's nice to recognize that the difference between like just being heard and being received by somebody who, like you're saying, like we're on this journey individually, but together because we meet each other with such joy about the growth, and I think that is such a great piece is when you evolve in relationship that way where you can share. And I also find that there's such a beautiful piece in being able to be open to receiving any nuance that may come forward, whether that be in something that you just speak to in a response, or just like a reciprocal back and forth. And then also, as you're doing this work, noticing that in the landscape of wherever you are and how you go through that process of uh, doing the self-reflection work and the deep listening um, and the noticing of where you may be telling yourself or believing certain stories, and being ready to shift into a different way of perceiving an experience, which I think is such a foundational piece to this work,
Mhm.
is being able to be open-minded and ready to contemplate something from a wider point of view.
Right, right. So we each have been experiencing some things recently that have allowed us to really lean into our processes. And so, yeah, there were a few things we were
Mhm.
speaking to in terms of, well, one thing that I love when you were describing your experience of late is just like you were saying, it's not quite overwhelm, but it's like a surge of data.
Yeah, isn't it so it was great to I personally really appreciate when the language that we can bring into this experience and really play with it and recognize we can revision language. And that was such a great realization for me when I realized it was like, I'm actually just receiving so much data that this idea of overwhelm, which I may have given meaning to in one way, is actually just like me receiving and beginning the process of integration of
Mhm.
of this the abundance of information that
Yeah.
is flowing through me right now to serve my growth. And
Mhm.
can I look at it through my thought and my awareness from that point of view so that I can from what I feel it, really receive it all.
Because I feel like there's a connotation with like as much as I really and we resonate on the idea that like it's the intention that matters, not like the language is
For
a key piece
sure.
too, but like it really is about the intention. But I do I can sense that sometimes overwhelm has this connotation and like of coming from a fearful place that would make us just want to like it's too much, stop, shut down, versus when you are reframing it in that sense, not just with the words but in how you actually are experiencing the data, and that you
Hmm.
see it as opportunity for growth, and it's just that it's something you are ready to and open to be receiving,
Yeah.
and then you respond in a different way.
You do, right? Having that discernment of what that feeling actually is one layer. And then being able to say, okay, I'm actually stable. I'm ready to receive this. And this
Mm,
feeling I can also nurture and do things to
right.
balance myself. One of the things I would do is feel into what creatively wants to be expressed through me to help me integrate and help me receive and help me like nurture. Sometimes it's going for a walk in nature. Sometimes it's just
Mhm.
quiet and stillness. It can be so many things, which is so exciting and beautiful. But yeah, is it's that piece of knowing that the data's coming in. This data keeps coming in. Uh, Let me prepare for this so that I can really utilize it to its fullest potential, which in turn becomes a beautiful catalyst for me growing up and evolving my experience to then have the opportunity to make different choice points on how I'm living and moving through this experience and then the ones coming that are just ready for me to have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that. I love that I think you're the queen of spaciousness. I love that you speak to that, that you make the space to then be able to process this experience as well.
Mhm.
And so and I mean you're speaking to processing the data, and I feel like I had an interesting similar but different experience where I was something had unfolded and I was like up at night thinking because it wasn't resolved, and I was moving through, like going through various prompts or questions I would ask myself and trying to see where there's a story or where my fear is underneath this, and I really wasn't coming up with a lot. Like I felt like I was actually seeing it clearly, and that it just wasn't aligned. And but I had to be really skeptical. Like I want to make sure that it's not my ego just telling me that and that I'm bypassing something. But so as I sat with it, I was like, but okay, so if that's the case, if there's no story, then why does it still feel so why is there this dissonance that I'm feeling? And then I spoke to you about it and realized that yeah, it was about making space to just process those emotions, to just let it move through me. Even if I don't have story attached to it and I'm not choosing to play there, I am still here having like a human experience. As much as I can have the expanded view, I still am here as a human being, and there are certain things that, if something is falling away, and it may actually be in highest alignment that happens, I can still feel sadness or grief or whatever it is, and then that also is going to take time to move through me. And so yeah, I feel like it's sort of
Mhm.
similar, just in the sense that we need to allow ourselves to process what's coming through.
Yeah, the physical body too in itself, right? Like there's so much non-physical stuff that often we can feel into. And then there's the mind that can sometimes you can feel really stuck in the mind, and that's where this work can be so powerful because it loosens it all and allows it to unravel. But the physical vessel in itself, right? We still like it carries so much energy,
Hmm.
and that energy is often expressed through emotion or felt sense too heavily.
Hmm.
But and yeah, the spaciousness that can be so helpful, like the medicine is the spaciousness in these experiences I've found. And that can look in so many ways to different people what spaciousness can be, but it
Hmm.
is the attention and intention put on whatever that is for that person, and not avoiding that, or you know distracting yourself into um, the next thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
We were speaking earlier about distraction, because that's like really one of the strategies of the
Mhm.
ego, right? And we were speaking of I feel like it's the discernment piece that comes back to it, because it isn't just like black and white. It's not one size fits all. Like
Mhm.
it's not about, even like, in my past, wanting answers from other people. It's like, well, like there isn't just like an answer. Like I'm the only one that really can tune in and know what I need to do next. And so yeah, there's so many potential distractions.
Uh,
uh,
so many distractions, and they're part of the game, right? Like, are you
yes.
going to go down the road of distraction? And if you do, okay, well, you will learn something from that, right? There
Sure.
will be lesson there, and you will maybe carry that lesson in another opportunity to face the same thing, uh,
Right.
and be able
The
to at that point discern. So sometimes the distractions will serve you in a wider picture, but if you're
Yes.
at a point where you've done the distraction, or you've done uh, you've tasted many, you may be at a place where you're ready to say no, thank you, I'm not interested in playing that way, and then start to witness the distractions kind of showing
Hmm.
advertisements. What about
Yes.
this? And would you like this? And how about this one? And then
Yes.
being able to say, no, thank you. What else is here? What else
Hmm.
is here? May I sit with myself even more? Is is this incredible space of
Yeah.
presence that gifts you with um, like whatever it is that actually wants to come forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the clarity, the truth.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's not always like it's not always the fear hooks that like are the distractions. It's
Good point.
sometimes, it's just like it's literally a distraction. Like just do something else. And
Or it can
it's
also be the story that you're telling yourself
yeah,
of the experience. So in relationship,
yes.
actually being a part of what you're trying to unwind or unravel or become more clear to. It may be a nuance of like a story you believed, and you could go down that road and then feel various emotions. But if you've already done that, that's the key, is to recognize, have I done that story before? Have you gone down that rabbit hole, that distraction of the
Yeah.
experience? Because yeah, I think it's there's so many nuances to what a distraction is, and being very observant to that and aware of that, I think is a really fun piece to this part of the game of being able um, to grow and to find new levels of ways of being in lower entropy, is
Yes.
recognizing whatever is happening there that is creating those spikes may not be serving you so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And it's really powerful. I feel like the journey of like doing the work, I feel like awareness is just the key piece. For me, it feels like at this point, especially like being able to really zoom out and see like all the potentials, right? Like not limited by fear, but now being able to see, well, okay, well, here's fear and here's distraction and here's love and like all of the various options, right? In between. And to just kind of sit with that and discern and choose. Really, because it comes down to a choice at the end of the day. and
Mhm.
and like you said, maybe you choose a distraction, and that's like okay, and then it'll be serving in some way, but maybe just kind of prolongs the process.
Mhm. So
And
long as you're paying attention and learning from whatever you're choosing to
yes.
then make a more evolved choice the next time. You know, we that is the game, so to speak. That's the
Yeah.
process. But when you get to a certain point where you are so aware of the ego programs and those fear games, and you just are ready for something, that is a beautiful place to then expand into all of what you were just saying. Those That wider decision space
Yes.
opens up and brings in so much more fun things to explore.
Yes.
You can't even know until you step into it. Oh,
Yes.
it's one of those incredible pieces of this human experience.
Yeah, I was speaking to a friend earlier, Cheryl, about like accepting the darker aspects of ourselves, and how, when we are able to like welcome it all in and just come in for tea, and then I'm just seeing all the, yeah, like seeing all the things, like all the potentials, whether it's on the love side or the fear side, and
Mm,
just allowing it to be, but not being like attached to or being pulled in to anything specific.
mhm,
And even sometimes it's like you were talking about, this a story, even just like when something is loud and it like wants to repeat. I found myself feeling like I shared with you, actually, there's that South Park clip of Cartman, and I forget, Caesar Milan. That's the guy's name, right? The dog trainer. And he's like training Cartman's mom on how to like tame him. And it's kind of like that. I found myself just like, okay, yeah, like I hear you. I hear you. Whatever that story is, whatever that like the fear wants to speak and it wants to be heard, it wants to take action. And it's like, okay, yep, okay. And just like I will
mhm.
just like be with you, and then like, okay, it's time to sit down now. Okay, lie down. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Like
powerful to be able to be at a place where you can see it, see you, but not choose from that
yes.
expression, from that thought place, from that choice point. Not lean into it, but see it and acknowledge it and recognize, yeah, it's there. What is it trying to teach me beyond taking action in that direction? I mean, that's even like a really cool place to look at it, to serve it at a, oh, that sounds fun to me. The way, like, to serve from an even more, like, a maybe less explored point of view, where you're like, oh, look at, okay, so it's trying to tell me this, and this, and this. what does that mean? What's there? And
Hmm.
again, not necessarily giving it like that. You acknowledge that that's not where you want to go, but paying attention
Yes.
to the stories that you may still be believing is a very integral part to shifting into other ways of being. If we don't
Hmm.
really pay attention to that enough and start questioning that and being skeptical of what beliefs are there that we're right, and that
Hmm.
I feel like is such a big piece of the work that you're doing. It's just that noticing and observing without being actively triggered and being able to go, I
Hmm.
see, I see that you're there. I'm going to tame you,
Hmm.
but I'm going to hear you.
Yes.
I'm going to hear you. I'm going to be curious enough to nurture what needs to be seen here, but I'm not going to take action from here. I'm not going to believe this
Yeah.
truth, but
Yes.
I'm going to take care of myself to see why this is showing up still,
Hmm.
right? Without
Right.
judgment, just
No.
knowing that it's there and that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And
Sometimes
that's
it's just
okay.
there because, like you said,
Yeah.
just be like, to kind of make you see that you don't want to go down there. Sometimes it's there.
Exactly.
There's some underlying belief that is still kind of impacting other choices. And, we need to see it. We need to
Yeah.
see it. And so ignoring it would not serve us well at all.
No. And I love that. I mean, yes, it's the choice piece is key, but then one other kind of like layer of that, we were talking about the choice in terms of, so say like I've done the work, I've worked through it, like I have made a choice, or I've set the intention. I guess the intention is kind of like the choice point of like how I want to navigate this, but then I make a choice that is not aligned with that. And then I'm able to recognize that that's what reawakens that story, is because, oh, well, I chose to like go and open that line of communication again when I said I was like done. And right. So it's interesting to see. Yeah. Yeah.
The paying
It's
attention,
paying
the
attention. Yeah.
simplicity of just allowing yourself the attention of your own experiences
Yeah. Yeah.
with love
Yes. Right.
is
We're like,
is
right.
important.
Okay, I did that. I see the pattern that when I do that, then this happens. And I'm not saying that it should either be, or should be like avoidance either. But it's just sometimes when things are fresh, it can be serving to take space, and
Mhm.
and until things really have like moved through us, and then we can make different choices. But yeah, it's very interesting to observe. Is my behavior aligned with my intention? Because those are all choices, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the choice points where we're at with our choice points inform us too,
Yeah.
right? They
Yes.
inform us
Totally.
of how we can further nurture ourselves. And I think the biggest thing for me that I realized was this week, chatting with you about just what's unfolding in this moment, is just realizing, like, the deeper we can listen to ourselves, the more we can just find find our own uh, voice, and then the various voices that may be speaking within us, the more um, we'll be able to unlock these moments of growth, or of of witnessing.
Mm. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Thank you. I feel like this is a good place to wrap it up.
Mhm.
We can invite everyone into that space of listening, right? Presence and spaciousness and listening. That is my intention.
Mhm. Love it.
Mhm. Love it. Okay, well, thank you so much. We will chat again soon. And thank you to everyone listening. Um, Hopefully, this serves.
Mhm.
All right, take care.